listening to The Geek Awakens, where the talk is geekier than starting a radio show 5 minutes late because you couldn't figure out how to work the new tripod. And here's the host who can't seem to get his microphone figured out. It's Mitch.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Starting 2017 off to just a fantastic start. It's great.
I'll give you a hand in just a second here. Let me introduce everybody else. Last but not least, well, not last. We got two more. Sorry. I had one more mic to undo, but I forgot that it's tethered to a whole nother board.
You don't math.
I don't math. Also joining us is Matt.
Hey. Is there maybe a lever on the side where you can like lower yourself down? So.
Oh, the chair?
Yeah, the chair, not.
I'm so tiny
this
now.
Is wonderful.
It's like
I kind of wanted. I was afraid I was gonna knock it over or something.
it's probably gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock it over.
Tabitha's on security detail, and it really kind of scared me that you just said that you're gonna knock it over.
Also joining us is Tabitha.
Hello. Not knocking things down.
Tabitha and I are not on camera tonight. I'm like never on camera though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So you get the downside of not seeing Tabitha tonight, but at least you still don't have to see me. So and I just smiled like I'm talking to somebody that can see me. It's a habit.
Also, Pickett, I feel like I should inform you my headphones are not on.
Oh.
You're plugged in.
Oh, there it goes. Ah. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Oh my.
This is a good first, good start to the first show of the year.
Man.
Yeah, this is
guys.
literally the first show on Two and Some Radio of the whole year. We took an extra week off of my show on Mondays because it's going through a transition and we wanted to finalize all of our details. So this is literally the first show of the year for Two and Some Radio.
And we were the last show of 2016.
It's gonna say something. Just
Wow.
throwing it out there.
This is awesome.
Go out with a bang, come back in with a bang, right?
Basically.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So. All right. So it's kind of been a thing or whatever, unspoken or whatever. But like when we take a extended break, like we don't necessarily talk about the stuff that we missed out on because there's always like a bunch of stuff to talk about. However, we would be remiss if we didn't at least bring up the passing of Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Which Tabitha's going to talk about.
And while she does that, I'm gonna fix her mic.
Are you ready for me
Go
to
for
talk? Okay. So I took Carrie Fisher's passing really hard, and I normally don't take celebrity deaths really hard. Like I'm like, oh, that's sad, and then I kind of just carry on. Carrie Fisher was like my original hero. Like I didn't grow up when Star Wars was originally airing. Obviously, I was born in the 80s, not the 70s, but the first time I ever watched her save the two men that were sent to save her, I was hooked. I was in Star Wars. I was running around trying to save the galaxy. I wasn't playing Barbies. I was playing with my little orange water gun that I used as my blaster, and I would go pew, 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 running around my house all the time. And I would beg my mom to put my hair in Leia braids, and she would never do it. So I always just kind of like wrap them around my ears and look like a weirdo. But it's fine. There's photographic evidence of this somewhere. I had, when I was, too busy trying to save the galaxy to have my my little water gun, I had a wrapping paper roll that was my lightsaber. It was just a wrapping paper roll, and I would just run around, and I would whoosh, whoosh, whoosh with it constantly.
Nice.
I'm sure I was the most annoying, obnoxious child ever. But Carrie Fisher's the reason I'm a nerd. Like, Carrie Fisher's role in Star Wars is the reason that I love Star Wars. It's the reason that I started watching other things when I got slightly older. I was like, oh, I'm going to rewatch Star Wars. And then I made friends with people who were into Star Wars. And they're like, Carrie Fisher is the reason that I have lifelong friends that are giant nerds. And I wouldn't change anything about it. Like, I cried like a baby the day she died. Like, I went home and I was like, not going to cry at work because I'm a big kid. But I went home and I cried. Like, I I cry at like weird stuff like movies and when animals die in movies and stuff like that. Usually people, I'm like, oh, that's sad. Like even if I know them because my brain is broken. But Carrie Fisher, I took so hard. Like my husband was afraid to talk to me. It destroyed me. And it's because she was my original hero. She was the first person like that was on TV or that was a celebrity that I could look up to. And like my biggest thing was that I really wanted to meet her and I didn't do it the last time I had my opportunity. And that's killing me inside. Like it's it's murdering me and it's awful. I'm devastated by somebody that I never met. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking before I cry.
But yeah, I mean, clearly, like I didn't have those same experiences that you did, but still, it was really tough, you know. And we had that. Was it about a week, a little more than a week from when she had her heart attack to when she finally passed?
Yeah, I mean it was
about a week. Yeah,
a little less so.
And you know, and there was speculation, you know, but it didn't. Well, it was similar to, you know, a loved one who is sick and you know that their time is coming, but it still didn't make it any less difficult when it finally happened.
My biggest fear after they said how long she had been out was that it was going to be a brain dead situation, and I was like, I don't want that for anybody, especially, you know, someone like that. So
Yeah.
The one sentiment that I had seen online, which really rung true, was that she really was. She was a princess. She was royalty, you know, as far as the nerds go. And really, like, I think it was Chris Hardwick, you know, from Nerdist. He basically said, he's like, you were our princess. You were our royalty. Mm-hmm. And that's the way she was for a lot of people, you know. And it wasn't just that kind of stuff. There are a lot of people that took it hard because of her stance with mental health issues, you know, and the things that she was able to bring to light and, you know, destigmatize in a lot of ways because of her position with Star Wars.
Yeah. So, Piggott, anything else that you want to add?
You know, I just, you know, it's super, super sad. It was really, for the time it was out in Star Wars, there was a really, really redefining a gender role. Her character as Leia. And it's such a big thing. I loved her. So I am a big Carrie Fisher fan, so it was sad for me as well. And it just makes me sad. I don't know. Nothing else I can really say. We lost a lot of good people in 2016.
don't curse it. Don't
Right.
you do that.
Right.
Knock on wood. And I'm not going to say that 17, forget it. 2017 doesn't appear to be off to an amazing start, but let's hope that doesn't continue a trend.
And I keep going back and forth with it too, because at the same time, like I worry that it's still too early to be having these thoughts or whatever. But what does that mean for Leia? Obviously, filming for Episode 8 was already completed, so,
Right.
But what does that mean for 9 and even possibly beyond that?
And I don't want to sound, I don't know. I feel like it sounds insensitive, but I mean, it's been a few weeks. We've seen Rogue One. All I can hope at this point is that they don't pull him off Tarkin.
Yeah.
Same.
Like, do her the respect that she deserves. Not that Peter Cushing didn't. I mean, he did as well. I mean, he was a fabulous actor. But, you know, for the role that she had in the Star Wars universe, please don't.
Right.
Agreed.
I think the only difference between those two, and I agree with you 100%, but like with him, he died, in the 90s?
Yeah, I mean,
been a while.
So it'd been a while.
I mean, it's not fresh.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. I mean, it'll be less than 5 years by the time Episode 9 comes out.
Yeah.
You know, so I agree with you wholeheartedly. I hope that they don't do something like that. I hope that, you know, whether they say that off camera somehow she lives happily ever after or whatever.
You know, and the thing is, like, I'm kind of attaching this to some spoilers here for Rogue One, so, you know, spoilers. But when you first see Tarkin in Rogue One, you see the back of his head, you see the reflection in the window. Mm-hmm. It's epic. It's daunting. Leave it there. Mm-hmm. I mean, even that would have been classic. It would have been awesome. It would have been foreboding. But then you turn around and, like, Tarkin, you see his face, and it just ruined the whole thing for me. Like, if you want to do that with her, then use it as an homage,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, but leave it there. Nothing more than that, if anything.
Yeah. So, I guess since we're kind of talking about Rogue One, we all saw it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's try to be happy now.
Yay!
What did everybody think about Rogue One?
Okay, well, I guess I'll kick this off. I know I was one of the last people to see it probably one of the last people, one of us to see it. It was awesome. I mean, I didn't know what to expect from it. I was excited to see it, but like I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
But man, they tied it into the whole story so well. It was almost seamless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God. We talked about it a little bit at the 2016 Geek Year in Review with the Front Row movie show. I can't talk at all today. I apologize. And Lincoln's Legends podcast. We all teamed up to this awesome thing. We talked about it a little bit there, and one thing I said there that I liked most is like we didn't watch a movie where it was supposed to be before another film that was already out, and yet there was new technology.
Right.
Right.
Continuity is huge with me, especially when it comes to that. I felt like the prequel of the prequel trilogy, the episodes 1 through 3, introduced some things that maybe were a little more advanced than they should have been for where they were in life. And that's one thing that always bothered me. But this one, they didn't. It's like they went to the episode 4, and then hit rewind, and that's where they started. Right. And I thought it was fantastic. And the robot, what was his name?
K2.
Yep.
K2. Oh my God.
Man.
Fabulous.
He was pretty amazing.
It was awesome.
But I think for me, and I'm a little disappointed in myself that I haven't done it yet. Rogue One, it's one of those movies that I can watch. I could probably see it 2 or 3 more times and still get new information because it was still Star Wars, but still so detached from everything else because we had very, very few familiar names and places and things like that.
Right.
So it was kind of one of those. Well, like, wait, who is that? No, who are you again? It's like,
yeah, I'll be honest. When it first started, it was slow to me, and I had a hard time following. But once it got going, it was all good from there. But yeah, the first probably 15, 20 minutes for me were really hard to follow. So I would definitely want to see it again now that I know what's going on. Probably get a better perspective from it.
yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely love to watch it again because just from the first watch through, the number of things that I picked up on that were clues and tidbits to, you know, the original trilogy. You know, you see the cup of blue milk, you know, in the house at the beginning. You know, when they go through the town to find Saw, you know, they run into Ponda Baba and his guy from the cantina. You know, there's just so many little things like spread throughout the movie that I'd like to go back and watch it again. I don't know. It was, aside from my Moff Tarkin issue, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely fantastic. I openly admit that at the end I cried. I mean,
oh yeah,
like the connection to, and granted, I didn't see. I'm not old enough to have seen the Star Wars, the original trilogy, in theaters. I saw it at home, you know, on video, on the TV, but it was a huge part of my childhood, and for it to connect so seamlessly was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was just. Oh.
So
I only have one other mention for that. I took my 5-year-old to go see it. So his first Star Wars in theaters, he loved it. The last 45 minutes, the entire last battle, he was on the edge of his seat. Phenomenal. The worst part for him, when K2 bit it. When K2 died, he looks at me and he looks at my wife with his lip stuck out, all sad. And not knowing, of course, what was going to happen, you know, my wife goes, "Oh, it's okay. When everything's over, they'll fix him and he'll be okay." Oh, okay. And then he could focus on the rest of the movie. But like that was the penultimate moment for him. He's like, you know, he went down and he's like,
Wasn't this the first time they've like, spoiler, killed off like a droid or like
Yeah, a name droid.
a name droid?
Yeah.
A name droid
Yeah,
that
'cause-
has that much of a personality. I mean, I would say that I like him more than I like C-3PO. Only because, hear me out, he's got an attitude problem, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah.
I like C-3PO. I mean, of course, you can't like Star Wars and not like C-3PO.
He's the original Sass Master.
Right.
Come on.
But I like this guy because he's such kind of a jerk, right?
Oh yeah,
And it's awesome.
it is. It is absolutely awesome.
So,
I'm really disappointed that we didn't get to see those two meet.
I agree.
I would love like a buddy droid movie with the two of them.
I would like a backstory to the backstory.
Yeah, exactly.
that could be the third spinoff.
Yeah.
You got Han Solo, Rogue One, and droids.
I'm down. I would watch a movie.
We'll
on
call it,
droids.
the movie's going to be called These Are the Droids You're Looking For.
I like it. Can we start writing this now?
We can.
Awesome. And I guess now since we've opened up that bag of spoilers, can I talk about how like sad I was for Alan Tudyk?
God, right?
know.
Every time.
It's like
No.
poor guy.
He's like the sci-fi Sean Bean.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, and have you guys seen Con Man?
Yeah,
Not yet.
Poor Alan.
always.
God. At least there's going to be a season 2 very soon.
True.
So he does have something going on.
Right.
I wanted K2, like I wanted his last words to be like, "I'm like a leaf on the wind."
Nope. I
No?
wouldn't have been able to handle it. I would have had to leave. I was just really glad, like, and not that I have any problems with the Han Leia love story, but I thought they were going that direction in the end of that movie, and I got so irritated. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Like, you can't even leave Star Wars alone. We gotta have a mushy romance in here. And then all they were doing was holding hands. And I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Like I was sitting there like, I'm like, oh, okay.
My wife said the exact same thing to me afterwards. She's like, that would have ruined it.
That would have totally ruined it. Like,
Yeah.
we need more male, female, platonic relationships and things. And I was like, finally.
All right. So moving on slightly. By slightly, I mean we're going to talk about Magic School Bus coming back.
Oh, yes. I literally.
By the way,
I
before we-
screamed when I found this out.
Before we get too far, and I'm super excited, before we get too far, I do have some geek tech stuff for you. We should just plan in the future for me to have a few tech stories.
Leave a section.
Just so we know, because it almost always happens.
Yeah.
I just never tell you.
I was about to say, if only there was an outlet for you to tell me these things.
I know, man.
Before the show.
We should get on that.
I should. I'll see about setting something up later.
Yeah.
You know what would be great? Like a Facebook group.
Oh my gosh, that's a
Whoa.
great idea.
Well, see, I was thinking MySpace.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right.
Wow.
I don't remember my login for that, though. That's going to be a minute.
All right, so Magic School Bus.
It's coming back. Netflix is doing Magic School Bus. I'm the happiest 90s kid nerd in the face of the planet. I still watch Magic School Bus. Like, sometimes... Okay, little known fact. I can't sleep well at night, so I watch TV shows that are normally animated because they don't scare me. So, like Futurama and, stuff like that. Scaredy Squirrel. It's fine. But I have probably watched all of the seasons of Magic School Bus like 20 times. Like I'm so excited. I'm speechless about Magic School Bus. So there's not a whole lot of information in the article that I found. The kid that played Ralphie is going to be a producer, which I think is hysterical. Like, where's he been for like 20 years? Like, what have you been doing?
Got lost in the back of the bus.
Oh, he's been on a field trip for a real long time. Arnold wasn't the only one that should have stayed home today. I'm telling you guys, I have a problem. But there's a bunch of like celebrity cameos and stuff planned. Like in the original, I don't know if you know this, but Reba McEntire was Molly Kuhl. So maybe we'll
Really?
get some Reba back as Molly Kuhl again. Guess what she did? She was Molly Kuhl.
Nice. But she was
I
a
didn't see
fancy
that coming.
molecule
She
as
was
well.
fancy what's her name.
And that's gonna be on Netflix.
Netflix,
right?
yeah. There's like no release date, or there's literally like a producer and the
It's
fact
like,
that
hey,
it's
it's
coming back.
happening.
Yeah, which is plenty for me. That was enough for me to be like, yes, Magic School Bus.
That's all you need.
I was Miss Frizzle for Halloween in high school. Not as a child, but as a teenager.
Teenagers can be cruel. How'd that work out for you?
I mean, I had red curly hair. Nobody really cared, so it's fine. I wonder if I can find that dress.
You need to.
I could cosplay as Miss Frizzle. I'm gonna need someone to be my lizard, though.
I'm down.
Perfect. Get you one of those green morph suits, and you can just be Liz.
I don't think they come in 7 fat. So, yeah. I'm not squeezing my fat self into a 2X.
Okay, we could get some green sweatpants and a green sweatshirt.
I'm down.
And put some spots on it.
Get a
And
tail?
yeah.
We gotta have somebody make a tail?
Yeah.
I'm totally down. Let's make this happen.
Wonderful.
That sounds amazing.
Planning our C2E2 cosplay already.
Didn't we already kind of start talking about this? I think this should be a
Captain
segment.
Planet.
Yeah. Well,
Captain Planet?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want this to be a thing because
I mean, it's an easy enough cosplay. We
Yeah.
just need to make shirts.
yeah, and I mean you can probably even, well, be cheap and buy the shirts. I guess it's not really being cheap,
Lazy.
Being cheap is
being
making
lazy.
it.
Lazy.
Yes, but yeah, because okay, so C2E2, the Saturday of C2E2 just happens to be Earth Day, so that's why I want to be
So
Captain
here's.
Planet and the Planeteers.
here's-
Although I don't know about a Captain Planet.
I was just about to say, who's
that's-
going to be Captain Planet?
because
Don
that
Cheadle?
is an ambitious costume to
Yeah.
take
Can we
It
just
off.
like get like a cutout of Captain Planet and carry it around?
I like where
That's
your
not the
head's
worst
at.
idea I've
I
ever had.
like where your head's at. Well, here's my thing. How many Planeteers are there? 5?
5.
We got 4 right here. So who would be the 5th one?
So he can't count to 3, but he can count.
Oh wait, we have a 5th person, right?
Well,
Maybe.
I mean, my wife and 2 boys are going, so.
Yeah.
So we at least have a 5th, 6th,
Yeah.
and 7th person.
One
and-
of your kids could be Captain Planet. That would be funny.
There we
Just
go.
put one on top of the other. Here, put your brother on your shoulders. You
I
can
love
be
it.
Captain Planet.
I
It's
love it.
hilarious.
But
Well,
yeah.
we'll talk more about
yeah,
that.
we'll figure it out. But anyway, so yeah. So why don't you actually go ahead and talk about your tech news? Because otherwise I'll forget about it.
Okay. Okay. So, a few of these things are gonna be little blurbs. Like I just wanted to show you guys Uber's self-driving car, which is pretty sick.
No, thank you.
It's right here, and I'm going to attempt to show the world. This is the Uber self-driving car.
Don't break my tripod.
I promise nothing. I don't even know if it's back in the right spot. It's not. Are we good? Are we good?
Sure, close enough.
Better?
We're good.
Okay. So that's Uber's self-driving car. I wanted to show that. Next time we have to make sure I have. Anyways, a company called Razer has invented a very fun laptop. It's got a 12K display, but it's not an ordinary display. No, it's a 3-panel display on a laptop.
What?
That's epic.
Isn't that ridiculous?
I just feel like it's going to be really heavy.
Yeah, they said one
Well,
of
it
the.
probably is the
They said book,
desktop
yes.
replacement.
Note, not so much.
Yeah.
So it's a portable desktop essentially.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot of awesomeness. 32 gigabytes DDR4 RAM,
Jeez.
an i7 6700 quad-core processor, so on and so forth. It's got 8 gigabytes of VRAM. With so
Well, you're gonna
it's-
need it for 3 screens.
Yeah, I mean definitely.
What's the possibility that thing overheats in like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that
pretty high, I'm
would
sure.
be the
Because I
issue.
don't like see like a fan.
Oh, certainly there's a fan. It's probably on the bottom.
But right, but where does the air go? if
You
it's
know
on the
what?
bottom?
That tends to be the issue with those. I had one of the desktop replacement gaming laptops for a while, and I had to have the thermal paste on the GPU replaced twice because it melted off.
Yeah, I
even
actually
even
also
with a fan.
I also had. I started
Yeah.
off with the Dell XPS. They had their big one, the biggest one they carried, fully loaded, and yeah, it overheated to the point it almost burned me to touch.
Yeah.
So they actually took it back. I got a new one, and then I ended up getting because when Dell bought Alienware,
Oh yeah.
something else happened to my computer. I'm like, we're just gonna replace it because the video card was out, and that was like the most expensive part on that specific computer at the time. So they said, we're just gonna send you a new computer, and they sent me an Alienware,
Nice.
top of the line. It was awesome, and that didn't overheat. that was fun. I ended up selling it several years later for like $800.
Yeah.
Several years later,
Right.
so
Yeah,
Wow.
take that for what it is. But yeah, so that's kind of fun. I figured we hadn't done a drone story in a while.
It has been a really long time since I've done a drone story.
And so I figured it was probably time. Disney World is doing an epic drone display, sending drones up to different shapes and stuff during their fireworks type thing during the holidays. And you can see they make different shapes and such. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting.
Makes sense that it starts at Disney.
Yeah.
That seems like way more cost and effort than it's probably worth.
Right, like you can do that with fireworks, right?
Right.
Like they make shapes.
So
Be really gonna get something that looks like a bird?
Maybe.
I mean, that was a bird, right?
I've
Yeah.
seen some
Okay,
fancy
I was-
fireworks.
yeah, but how many drones did that take?
And how many people operating those drones?
Exactly.
I mean, it's.
Well, it was probably all programmed. Let's be honest for a
Well,
second.
but still,
You-
Somebody had
it's
to
like
program it.
synchronized flying. Come on. But
you're still buying like I don't know, dozens of drones.
I mean,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Disney.
You're Disney.
yeah, I mean, you
they
can
got
kind
a
of
few
afford
bucks
it.
laying around. Like, they're gonna be okay.
I mean, they bought Marvel and Lucas or Lucasfilm. I think they can handle it.
Yeah.
But
Those drones are gonna break
I'm
them.
pretty sure they can handle a couple hundred drones with no serious issues. Next up, this is kind of overkill, but devices like Amazon's Alexa, their little Dot Echoes and all that devices. But all of those are becoming very popular amongst home automating systems. Well, there's a new one out there. It's called Gatebox, and because, why not have a holographic display?
That's
That
creepy.
officially got creepy.
yeah.
They
Yep.
had to go make it weird.
Yeah, there's a holographic. Well,
You
this
knew
one
they were
looks like a
going
little
to.
anime person just standing there. I mean, I can see a lot of negativity from this personally.
Also, is that a dress that she has on?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's definitely like an anime chick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so because when you can go buy something from Amazon for what, like a couple $100, why not spend $2,725 on a holographic display? In case you were no, sorry.
No, I was just going,
Apple has let you know that if you lose one of your AirPods, you will be charged $70 to replace it. So I don't
Replace
remember.
one.
Yep. So it's like $207 for the earpods in the first place. Why? Here's my
Don't
question.
lose them, Tabitha.
Chances of me losing those super
Here's
high.
my
You know what you should do is just like make a chain or whatever that connects the two AirPods.
Oh,
You
my
know
apologies.
What's better? Just wear my feet headphones
Then
The,
they're not
the full
wireless
package
anymore,
is
Mitch.
160.
for both. of
So for two or 70 a piece.
them. I would probably, if I lost one, I'd be like, I am fine. I just need one.
Wait, okay, so 160 for both, or 70 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
You buy two of the $70 ones, and that's 140. That's like that guy who's suing McDonald's because their extra value meals aren't that value. Have you heard about this?
I have not heard about this.
This guy, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say he's in Chicago. He's suing McDonald's because the, he broke it down or whatever, and the
Extra value.
yeah, the items that are in the extra value meal, if he bought them separately, would be, and we're talking pennies here, but would be cheaper than buying the extra value meal.
Right, but then you're wasting your time, which is very precious to me, going, I would like a blank and a blank and a blank, where you could be like, I would like an extra value meal number one. Bye. Like,
But at that
Well-
point, I mean, let's get honest for a
my
second here.
time is worth more to me than my money.
Let's talk at number 2, which is 2 cheeseburgers. I only know this because it's been like that forever, unless it's not anymore. Then I'm stupid. Idiot. But anyways, it used to be number 2 was like a 2 cheeseburger meal. But let's say a double cheeseburger meal. All right, I don't know what number that is, but I would like a double cheeseburger meal, medium with a drink, or I think a double cheeseburger, medium fry, and a drink. You're really not talking much of a difference
Yeah.
in speaking.
And it's not so much the case with McDonald's, but like in other fast food restaurants. Not that I'm a fast food connoisseur, but like they'll even ask, like they'll ask you like what you want for your side. So you're even still saying like, okay, I'll have the number 7 with fries and a Coke or whatever.
Right.
So
There
then
are
it's
side
literally
options
not.
at fast food restaurants. I missed this.
Yeah, Popeyes. Check it out.
Oh.
Love Popeyes.
Drive-through chicken freaks me out. I don't know.
No. If there's a drive-through chicken place, it's Popeyes.
It really, yeah.
Okay, I'll get on that. Sorry, guys.
Anywho, back to
I just had a really bad visual of a chicken driving.
okay.
Jesus.
So somebody decided to be a really good idea to make a robot that wipes your butt.
Oh
No, thank you. Is that a
Wait.
drill?
That is the drill.
That's
Wait.
not safe. That's
Okay.
just not safe.
the robot.
7,200 RPMs later.
Oh my god! Ouch.
Okay, I've gotta peer
You
at this
wanna do this?
You're not,
I'm gonna break this. Aren't
peer at this video here. Okay.
no, you're not there yet.
I
Oh.
can't turn anymore.
Nope.
Oh no.
All the nope.
Why is it a? What is that?
No.
Oh,
Oh.
we're adding in a robot. Oh, we're clothing the robot
Why
or
does the
the
robot
like-
need to wear a hockey thing? What's it called?
So this thing is just a drill with an entire roll of
So you now wasted an entire roll of toilet paper trying to wipe your ass once.
Can you imagine trying to do that when you had been drinking? Like sitting down and be like, I just need to push this button and then fall off the toilet and break my
I
back.
think-
I'm just saying, like, you're gonna need like 7-ply toilet paper for that to even feel remotely okay. Like, if you buy that like
and then-
cheap Economo stuff that you got like in high school or whatever, like half-ply, like no.
All right. Another one is Tinder has now got an app on the Apple TV. Because why not? Be able to swipe right or left from the comfort of your very own couch without your phone. What's the point of this?
You could see the pictures bigger. I don't know.
I mean, in comparison, the TV screen over here or my phone right here, I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for like a group project where you're like, what do you think about this one? Let's
oh,
like your friends
okay.
are on.
Yeah.
Now there we go. No, that's a valid point. But I mean, you can always do the same with your phone, but it's so much easier if it's on the TV. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? No? Okay. Swiping left. Makes sense.
Right, but if you already have an Apple product, if you have Apple TV, you're probably going to have it like an iPhone or
Right.
something.
So you could
can
just AirPlay
Yeah,
it.
you can AirPlay it up to your TV.
But it would always be in. It would always be like cut off.
Optional. Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. Either way, I thought it was odd. Thought I'd bring it up. A little fun thing. Last but not least, we all know how Galaxy's been trying to completely kill the Note 7.
It kind of did that already. Well,
Yeah.
before it kills other people.
Here's the problem. I told you guys about the update it was releasing that would essentially render it a brick. Well, apparently, in order to do that, all the carriers have to be on board, and there's one that's not, Verizon.
I thought that they finally did get on board with it.
Are they? See, I might be behind.
Yeah.
I had this story for a bit.
I could be wrong, but I
But
feel
their
like
thing was they didn't want to do anything before the holiday during the holiday season. So I know that
I mean, I'd rather my phone just not work than it potentially blow up on Christmas. And you're
Right.
like, bang, you're on fire.
right.
Merry Christmas.
It's a valid point. I mean, I'm not arguing. But yeah, so that was a thing. And yeah, this is old. So my apologies. That was an old story. I apologize. Anywho, that's all I have in the world of tech news.
so. All right. Man, we are just flying by right now. And like we've barely scratched the surface of everything.
Probably my fault.
It's
I
okay.
apologize.
It's okay. We're going to go ahead and start on this week's Who Wins. So,
Nice.
what we actually did, I reached out to some other, to us as well as some other people who have been on the show from time to time. And it was this actually came from one of them, which kind of gave me this idea there. That's what I wanted to say. So anyway, I basically we're going to also open this up to, any viewers or listeners or whatever.
You
Yeah.
At home.
So basically, if you have two characters, again, really the biggest rule is these two characters have never met before and they live in different universes, so they're not going to meet. Don't have us do Green Lantern and
Aquaman.
yeah, exactly. I don't care about that. So anyway, so
Neither does DC.
true. So this week we are pitting Aang. I'm saying that right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Mario. That's the one. So, and so I did, because obviously I'm way more familiar with Mario than I am with Aang. And so I did a little bit of research, and I apologize for any Last Airbender fans out there if I'm slaughtering your
offending.
character. Yeah. But basically, he's the last surviving Airbender, and he's a monk. He is an incarnation of the Avatar, which is the spirit of light and peace manifested in human form. He is the reincarnated Avatar Roku. So he lives, has different lives or whatever, and he can also like those former lives that kind of play into him, like when he calls upon him, like he has the powers and memories or whatever of those former beings.
Okay.
Let's see. His fighting style focuses on circular movements, and he doesn't really have any finishing moves per se, but his traits are meant to represent the unpredictability of air and peaceful character of airbenders. He also is depicted as showing ethical reluctance to killing. So he's a very peaceful kind of,
Like a monk.
basically, yeah. So in one instance, there's Fire Lord Ozai, and then eventually Aang strips Ozai of his bending powers rather than killing him. So he has the opportunity to, but he doesn't. So anyway, so that's kind of Aang in a nutshell. Mario, I think we all kind of know who Mario is. If you don't, then your older brother always made you play Luigi.
It's valid.
Yeah.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah. So, okay, so I guess with all that in mind, what do you guys think?
I mean, my Last Airbender knowledge is literally the knowledge you just bestowed upon me.
This
Here, no,
this
go
is
ahead.
going to be tough because while Aang has a lot of really cool natural powers, Mario has a lot of power-ups.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which that's what I was going to ask. Are his power-ups available in this fight?
It depends. Well, first of all, we have to establish what we're going with here. If we're going with like typical Mario side-scrolling play, then you only get one power-up per level. When you start on, like, for classic example, Super Mario Brothers 3, you get the first power-up. You can select it at the beginning. You can have several there, but you only get one when you go. The only thing you get in-game are, mushrooms to make you bigger and such. And occasionally a fire flower or a leaf.
Yeah. Or the star that makes you invincible.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're, I feel like we should at least give him the ability to have some kind of a power-up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then otherwise it's this powerful monk versus a plumber.
Right.
So, my thing too, while Aang is relatively peaceful, Mario is kind of ruthless. Mario has no problem killing things.
No.
It's a valid
At
point.
all.
Yes.
That is a very valid
Yeah,
point.
that was actually
How many turtles, right?
How many turtles? How many
Goombas.
Goombas. I mean,
He just kills them.
yeah. Bowser,
Oh,
Yep.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I mean,
are we still doing that? Do they still do that?
I still do it, and that's all that matters.
But how many times
Long
you
as it's a
actually got a
Christmas
Coke out of it?
0.
0. Yeah, it doesn't happen.
And not a Coke 0.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want that anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's basically ruthless.
So I guess it kind of depends on the power-up. To me, I mean, if he's got a superstar, game over. Literally, he just has to walk up to him and touch him. And nothing can hurt him in the process. So, I mean, that'd be a game over to me. But if we're talking like the freaking Tanuki suit,
I always called it the bear suit.
the bear suit, that's what I called it too.
It was always the bear suit.
He can fly a little bit and looks like a raccoon. I think he would probably die. So, I mean, it's a tough situation.
But would he die because what's his name's not going to kill him?
Or if he did die, how many lives does he have?
Well, but here's the other thing: is if he's in the suit, if you get hit, you just lose the suit.
Exactly.
You're still
That
you're
is
still
a
big
valid
Mario.
point.
You're still Super Mario, and then you still have to get hit again.
Little
just become
Mario.
Little Mario.
Right.
So then it's still just a plumber versus a monk.
Yeah.
At the end, it would
In
be
the
a
end
plumber.
of the day, it's a plumber
unless
versus a monk.
he had a power-up suit and the star.
Yeah.
The star is, let's be honest, the star is kind of like the wild card here.
I mean, I think if Mario gets power ups, you have to go Mario. But if we're not sure what power up or how many or the duration, just based on the character at the base level, you almost have to go Aang.
If we're
Unless
talking,
it's a fight to the death. Because then it's just going to go on for forever.
Right.
Aang can be like, I feel sorry for you. You're just a plumber.
He'd probably say something like existential and walk away.
So,
I told you I was going to knock that down.
but it's still up.
Is
Ish.
that better? I
We're
should
okay.
not touch things.
We're okay. So, okay. So what's everybody's final vote?
I don't know. This is really tough. Okay, 2 votes. Vote number 1.
Is
That's not how this works.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
If there are
Pickett's not in charge
power-ups,
of politics ever.
if there are power-ups, Mario. If not, Aang.
Okay. Well, okay. So let's establish: are there or are there not power ups? I say power ups.
I think there almost have to be though, because what is Mario without his power ups?
It's a valid point.
He's not really.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Mario.
Yeah. I vote Mario just because he's ruthless and a killer, and there is a lot of blood on his hands.
I mean, he did in that one game. He did take out Bowser's entire family and Bowser.
Super
Yeah.
Mario World.
Yeah, I gotta go Mario.
Yeah, Mario. I don't trust anything that won't kill something. I mean, when faced with impending doom, I don't buy it.
So
Keep that in mind. You ever cross Tabitha?
Right.
Hey, there's one
Make sure
life
you're
jacket,
willing
it's
to
mine,
finish
y'all.
the job.
So there it is.
Do you think I was gonna kick you?
So it's Mario then, right?
Yeah.
Mario.
Mario.
Never would I ever.
Yeah. So, yeah. When we were talking about this on our Facebook group, Lilith chimed in and she did say that it would be Avatar hands down, and clearly, sorry, it wasn't.
Sorry.
But, all right. So, a couple seconds ago, you even said something about crossing Tabitha. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are trying to cross Tabitha.
I am so unhappy. I'm enraged about this movie. This Holmes, Watson, John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell travesty is. I can't even talk. I don't want to talk about it because I'm so mad. I really think we should picket the movie though, not picket, but
Yeah,
you have an
yeah.
unfortunate last name.
I know. Story of my life.
We should protest. There we go. This movie because it just shouldn't. It shouldn't exist.
So-
Every time someone talks about this, I have that moment where in Harry Potter he starts screaming at Snape, "How dare you stand where he stood?" That's what I see in my mind, and I'm like, "You right? Stop it."
I guess. Now, I didn't read the story. Are they trying to make it a comedy?
It
Yeah,
is
it's a comedy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are those
That's
two idiots
unfortunate.
capable of anything other than slapstick crap?
John C. Reilly was in Chicago.
Yeah. And
okay, Mr. Cellophane, sit down.
Stranger Than Fiction wasn't slapstick.
No,
That's
it
actually
is.
one of my favorite Will
Oh,
Ferrell
that's a-
movies.
that's
That's
great
the only
movie.
Will Ferrell movie that I don't hate because it's one of the only ones that I've actually seen.
God, I love that movie.
So I was on board with the not really liking this movie. Like, it is what it is. It's just not going to exist in my world. Until I saw this other article where they have employed composer Alan Menken and lyricist Glenn Slater to write a couple of songs for this movie. One of them is essentially a love song between Watson and Holmes. It begins in a musical theater, almost Rex Harrison kind of way, and then it turns to a full-on 70s pop soft rock love extravaganza with an operatic interlude in the middle. That came from the Hollywood Reporter.
Like, I couldn't even read through that whole sentence without wanting to jump off a bridge. I was like, no.
I think Mitch and I are going to see this movie together.
No.
You can't give that any money. Like, you can't be the person that pays money for that.
That is rough.
Yeah. And it even gets better. Like, they were specifically told that they don't, like, they didn't want the songwriters to be funny. We want you to write a full-throated love song. Just go for the over-the-top emotionality. The actors will make it funny.
I'm mad at Alan Menken. Like, I get it. You're getting paid, but you're better than that. You're so much better than that.
So, there's that.
Even the little shred of hope that movie had is still
Gone.
Just
Where was that? Was that somewhere?
the lyricist and
Oh, well, yeah.
that was the shred, but seeing what they have to work with.
Yeah, I mean, there was a shred, and then there were those pictures, and I mean, I knew that Holmes was going to be feral anyways, but like the stupid look on his face in some of those pictures,
Like you don't
just disrespecting that character
Exactly.
so badly.
That's my problem. Like, you take this wonderful, brilliant literary character and you allow this.
Turn him into a bumbling buffoon.
Yes.
Because that's the only option he's got.
Yeah. So.
He's gonna.
I like this,
I mean, he's gonna stumble on the answer, and it's gonna
Oh, yeah.
like he's
And
brilliant
and
or
it's
something.
not
Oh.
going to be like a, high functioning sociopath kind of way.
Yeah.
I like how this article showed like all the like iterations, like the big iterations of Holmes and
right,
Watson.
yeah.
Of course Downey and
Jude Law.
Jude Law, which is probably the first movie was amazing. Second movie, I liked it, but it wasn't awesome. But yeah, all the way up to Sir Ian McKellen. I mean,
even the TV show with
Lucy Liu.
and what's his name, Johnny. I can't remember
I
what
don't
his name
remember
is.
his name.
Like,
Yeah.
I really enjoy the show because he's eccentric and he's odd and he's very much like I would expect Sherlock to be.
No one
Not
is as Sherlock as
dumb.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Ever. Never will it ever.
I mean-
Speaking of,
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
go ahead and have a Sherlock Holmes palate cleanser?
We sure can.
please.
Just to make you feel a little bit better about your life. The good folks at Ancestry.com took it upon themselves to find out that Benedict Cumberbatch is indeed related to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Sweet.
They're like 16th cousins, twice removed, or some such garbage.
who-
Which
who
I
is-
don't even know what that means.
And who is that?
Ancestry.com.
The guy
No.
who wrote Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh.
I
You're welcome.
knew, but I just didn't know, like 100%. And we have listeners who might not have known.
Thank you, Pickett.
I didn't know. I didn't know at all. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to know whose job it is, though, to sit around at Ancestry.com and be like, I wonder if this celebrity is related to this other celebrity. I want that job.
Dude, that'd be a sick job.
That
That'd be like my ultimate dream job.
I'm down. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
We should apply to Ancestry.com today.
For a job they don't know they need.
Right.
I mean, somebody's doing it. I just need to get that guy fired.
And then convince them to hire the two-person team of Tabitha and myself.
I like this idea.
I'm in.
pretty good at getting people fired, so I think we're down.
Whoa.
Wow. It just got cold in here.
Just saying.
So all right.
Anywho.
So we don't have a whole lot of time left, and we still got a couple stories I really want to talk about. So real quick, so Jeff Johns, he hasn't written anything since.
Wah!
You're
We're
fine.
going-
We're good. We're good.
All right.
We're good. So he hasn't written anything since Rebirth.
Okay.
All right, and he took to Twitter talking about things that he's excited for 2017, and the last thing was writing comics again. Stay tuned. Happy New Year. Followed by a picture of Dr. Manhattan.
You broke Matt.
So
That's amazing.
yeah. So that's it. That's all that the information that we know. But we know that we are going to see more of Watchmen in the DC universe, and we're going to find out more about why Dr. Manhattan screwed everything up. Not screwed everything up, but screwed everything
Screwed everything up. Yeah.
So excited for that.
So I have a confession. Not only have I not read Watchmen, the comic book, the graphic novel, I haven't even seen the movie.
You need to read it first.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
read it
Yeah.
first.
One of the things that I love about Watchmen, the movie, and this isn't a spoiler, but one of the things that I love about the movie is there are a lot of scenes in that movie that like
Yes.
panel for panel,
Yes.
word for word, like it's
Yeah, you can sit there with the graphic novel and watch the
yeah.
movie and flip through the
Yeah, see
pages.
it.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
yeah.
It's fabulous.
Now, and I'm not gonna say you can completely ignore it, but especially if you're wanting to do both fairly quickly, because in between like each issue of Watchmen, there's like a side story or whatever. That's not really necessary for the movie.
No.
Skip over that. Just read the comic and then watch the movie, and then you can go back later. And because I
Read
mean,
the
it's
side
a
stuff.
fun story,
But
it's not really.
necessary.
It's not necessary.
Okay. We'll touch bases on this a little
Yeah.
later after the show.
Yeah.
Probably not tonight.
Probably.
I've got another show right after this one, so.
So yeah. So we really need to hurry up.
But not really. I mean,
Yeah.
everything runs a little behind. It's okay.
Yeah. That's true.
I know the guy who owns the place. It's cool.
So, all right. So, real quick,
It's like the worst like bad bar joke I've ever heard.
I know the owner.
I think we'd be kind of remiss, and it's been like a Tabitha heavy show. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about how Ben Affleck is having, I guess, cold feet about Batman.
I mean, I kind of saw
Penguin
this
feet?
coming. Penguin feet. Yeah,
Aw.
really.
Wow.
I was trying to work a Mr. Freeze or a Penguin reference in there.
Oh Lord, okay, help us all. So, in an interview, he basically said, he's like, if it happens, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but the way I took it is if it happens, it happens. But he didn't seem as excited about it as he had in like the past, like interviews and articles that I had read. It's very just like, that's the idea, but if it's not a set thing, and there's no script. Didn't he tell us there was a script, or did I make that up? Didn't we hear like him being like, "Oh, the script is great" or something? Did I make this up in my head?
I remember
say-
him working on a script. I
Right.
don't know if it was finished though.
Well, now there's no script.
Well,
According to
apparently what they had was garbage then.
Yeah.
If they had anything.
Which I will say this about Ben Affleck: if if we don't get one because it's not a good product, I'm okay with it.
Agreed.
Right.
I would rather have no Batman movie than a bad Batman movie.
Yes.
Right.
Another bad Batman movie.
Right.
But like the other thing is, he's like, it kind of blew my mind. He's like, I think if I don't think it's great, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, if you're directing and you're acting in it, if it's not great, what's the problem, Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Like that kind of bothered me. Like you're writing it, you're working on like directing, you're like you're doing all
Yeah.
this stuff, and he's like, well, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna do it. And if you don't like it, it's your fault.
Right. So.
I don't know. I'm not devastated about it. I still haven't watched Batman vs Superman.
It's okay. Neither have I fully.
I did. I turned it on.
Did you
and
fall asleep?
I did not fall asleep, but I got distracted. And then, like, by the time I started paying attention again, I couldn't have told you what was happening. I did that
Well-
with Suicide Squad too.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's
I'm-
fair enough for both of those.
Yeah,
actually.
I can't like if I'm not engaged in the movie,
You
I
have
can't
to see the whole
yeah.
thing to have any idea of, yeah.
Like I looked up at like 20 minutes later in Suicide Squad. I was like, wait, what? And I just sat there and I'm like, never mind, turn it off.
So
I just need DC's movies to be as good as their TV shows.
Wonder
Look,
Woman.
I'm gonna throw this out here.
just praying for Wonder Woman.
If they destroy that, I will be so
gonna
irritated.
throw this out here.
badass.
Nobody would be upset if the writers and showrunners of the TV shows made movies
Right?
yeah.
with those characters. Nobody would be upset, and everybody would love it. Look, bottom line, you've heard more positive than negative about the show, and you've heard more negative and positive about the movies. Why aren't people putting this together? Why aren't people saying, you know what? Let's do it. Let's put some money behind these kids who are doing an amazing job. I'm referring to the actors, not the people running the show. But put some money behind these people and do something with it. I mean, this is my frustration. Like, screw the DC Cinematic Universe or whatever they're calling it. Let's just pull the TV shows, not pull them, take the TV shows and make movies out of them.
Agreed.
Create their own storyline so it doesn't have to cross-reference with the TV shows because that would just mess things up, i.e. S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, that's it. That's all there is to it.
I feel if you are going to do that, I'm going to disagree with you. I feel like if they were to take Arrow and put it in the movie, it does need to connect to the TV show.
But what about the people that don't watch the TV show?
I'm not saying
Well,
it has,
it's got to stand. Here's
Yeah,
it's
it
gotta
can stand
It's got to
alone.
stand alone, yeah.
but I mean
For
you
people
can't.
that do watch, like, some kind of...
You know what? What the hell?
Inclusivity
Why
would
not?
be good.
I mean, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying it doesn't have to.
Yeah.
If it does, I'm sure they do a great job at it. I mean, look at all their crossovers. I mean, did anybody here see the whole Invasion crossover storyline? It was amazing, and it was so well done. What it was is you've got 4 different shows: Supergirl, Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. And they took this crossover, and it was a story that happened through all of them. And Supergirl wasn't much on there. I watched it just to see what the crossover was. Wasn't much there. But then there was Invasions Part 1, 2, or Invasion Part 2, Invasion Part 3, or whatever. And it was all of the rest of the shows. And they not only tied the story together, but still kept intact the integrity and the feeling of each show. You know, Flash was way more, comic sense. I don't know what the word I'm trying to say is.
Comical.
Not so much comical, but like in the sense of like a comic
Lighthearted.
book, more lighthearted. Arrow was definitely a lot darker. Legends of Tomorrow was kind of a combination of the two, and that's what you like in those shows. And they managed to take that crossover and keep that intact.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Do something better with it.
Yeah.
Do something more, not better. Do something more with it. That's all I'm saying. Get off my soapbox here.
All right. So, last story we're going to talk about tonight. And unfortunately, there's only one person here who would be able to try this out if it ever gets out of development, because she's the only one with an iPhone. But
I thought that was going to be something different. But that's fine.
Because I thought it was gonna be something about her being a girl.
I did too. I was like,
Yeah. But anyway, so the City University London's Imagineering Lab have developed a prototype. It's called the Kissinger. It's an iPhone attachment that lets you share a kiss with another, even if you're thousands of miles apart. Basically, how it works, it's essentially a big iPhone dock with a silicone pad on the bottom. So you kiss the pad, and then the app logs the sensation, sends it to the receiving, the kissee, I guess, if you will. And then that app recreates it. And then they can put it on their cheek, lips, wherever to feel your kiss. Wherever is this article's words, not mine. But
oh, I didn't read that, I guess.
Well then, I mean, cool. I don't know how to feel about it. Honestly.
I feel like it's a marriage ruiner. Like, someone's going to, like, send it to the wrong person, or I don't know, something bad's going to
What's the worst case scenario? Oops, somebody else gets this digital representation of a kiss.
well, but it's like it's going through a lot of effort to get that.
That's a valid point.
But at the same time, it's not like an app on your phone where like, oh, I accidentally Snapchatted the wrong person. Like,
Right.
no,
Never done
these
that
are like like these are like attachments to to the phone itself.
Right.
That I guess that
Like
they
I would have to
connect.
have one, and like the other person has to have one that's connected to the same one.
Right. That's the way that I understand it.
So it's not like an app where like we all have one, and I'm trying to send one to my husband, and I send one to Pickett because that happens on Snapchat sometimes.
Right.
They have the same first name. It's very complicated. But like I don't accidentally do that kind
Right.
of thing, right?
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think that you could accidentally kiss somebody else.
I mean, that was my argument in college, but I don't know if it works with the app.
So,
It was an accident. It's Pickett's way of telling me to shut up.
No, I'm
he
sorry.
does it to everybody. It's not just you. It's
Oh,
okay.
That's fair.
No, I was in the middle of a text there. I'm sorry. Anywho, well, that concludes the very first episode of any show on 217 Radio for 2016.
17.
Pickett,
Yeah.
I need you to figure out what year it is.
2017.
Whatever
Yeah.
year it is.
And also just like for whatever reason my brain picked out 420 like because he said 2016 but I heard 420. I was like, this isn't that kind of show.
Lord. 2017.
2017.
There you
Whatever
go.
year it is. You've been listening to Geek Awakenings on 217radio.com. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Hey,
Same
what's
time.
what are we doing later? Or what are you doing later?
Oh yeah, we've got a we've got a brand new show coming up right after this. The Sleeper Hold podcast is now a show on our network, and they're coming up right after this. So we'll be tagging a bunch of stuff with that. So don't forget to check that out. So thank you for the reminder, ladies and
What I'm
gentlemen.
here for.
Right. Lose my head if it wasn't touched. We will be back next week, same time, same place. Everybody say bye.
Bye.